this is Trisha and welcome to my channel. This year I decided that I want to put up a fall tree. So to put up my tree, I'm going to need some ornaments and some decorations. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing a series where I will do each video. I will create a new ornament or decoration to go on that tree. Now I'll probably be adding a few other things on my tree. So what I decided is I'm going to do a final video, and that will be the decorating of the actual fall tree. So I hope that you enjoy this series, so let's get to creating. This is project number 3. I'm going to show you how I made this mini hay bale on a pumpkin ornament. Most of these items are from the Dollar Tree. It is super cute, super easy. So let's get to crafting. First, I purchased some items from the Dollar Tree, like this block of tumbling towers, this package of mini hay bales, and this package of pumpkin shapes. I'm going to take one of the pumpkin shapes and one of the blocks. I'm going to be painting them with some acrylic paint. I have here Folk Art multi-surface acrylic paint in the color Parchment. I'm going to give each of them 2 coats. Now for the little block, I don't need to paint one of the sides, but I'll do the other 3 sides, the top and the bottom. The pumpkin, I just want to cover the front. All right, everyone, I have a little tip for you. First, I want to let you know that I did go ahead and decide that I wanted to paint 2 of these little blocks per pumpkin. Also on my pumpkin, I told you to paint one side. And what I've actually done is I've actually painted both sides and the little edges, and I'll tell you why. First of all, the little ornament might twirl around, so we want both sides painted, but that is really up to you. Of course, if you're only going to paint one side, I am going to recommend that you do not paint on this papery side because it is kind of slick. It's a little harder to paint because you have to do a lot more coat, so you have to wait longer for it to dry. But if you do this other back side, it actually absorbs a little bit of the paint and it dries really quickly, so then you can do a second coat. And when you do your second coat, you want to do brush strokes that are going up and down, so that if you do get anything that is marked, at least you have those nice little brush strokes that make it sort of look like wood. All right, so now that you have all of your pieces painted, we can put them together. But before I do that, I actually want to add some more paint to give it a more decorative touch. So here I've got some Waverly chalk paint. It is a small little 2-ounce bottle. The color happens to be called Pool. It is a light blue and I really like it. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. The way that I'm going to apply this is going to be with a dry brush. So I want to make sure my brush is clean and it was dried before I start grabbing this paint. So you go ahead and grab some, and I'm just grabbing it right here from the little lid, and then I'm going to just brush a little bit of that off. This time, instead of going up and down, I want to go in little curves. So I'm going to apply the paint in little curves, rounding it off to the side, and then on the other I'm going to do the opposite curve. So just do that. The ones in the middle, I'm just going to go up and down, and that's the effect that I want. All right, so after you've done that, and if you feel like you've got a little bit too much, just grab the original paint that you put underneath and brush on top of this so that you erase some of that. I also want to paint the little stem here. So now I'm going to be using this Waverly chalk paint in celery color. Again, I'm just taking some from the little lid here. I just want a little bit of paint. You can remove some of it if you feel like you have too much. I'm going to start at the top, and I'm just going to kind of brush it and flick upward. Okay, so up close, get on the edge and flick it, just like that. That's all you want, just a little touch of paint. And now I'm going to take some of that celery green and just kind of dry brush it also on the little blocks. We don't need to cover them, just a little bit of paint on them is all we need. All right, it's now time to put these parts together. I've got my glue gun. I'm going to take one of my little blocks here and make sure that I get the one that has the ends painted facing forward. And remember, I told you you didn't have to paint the back, but if you did, that's okay. All right, so we're going to put glue on that back side, and then we'll glue it to the side of another little block, just to wipe off any excess glue. And now we're going to add glue to the back side of that other block. And we're going to glue it onto our little pumpkin shape. Just place it down. We're creating a little shelf for our haystack. Now I could have just used one little block, but it wasn't wide enough for my haystack, so I went ahead and I added 2. And it actually looks really cute like that. Next, we're going to take some wire, and you can use any wire you want to use. I am using a 20 gauge, so it's nice and soft and flexible, and I decided to go for a black wire. All right, so I just cut about 12 inches of wire. It doesn't have to be exact. I'm going to take it and kind of like pull it here just so I can get the center up here, the center fold. And then I want these two ends, and I'm going to grab a little dowel, or you can grab a pencil, anything round and thin. You can just curl the little ends here and kind of just push them together. I'm going to do the other ends as well. Just push them together like that, just to make sure that they stay in that little curl, and then that's what you'll have. I'm going to lay this flat on the table and kind of round it off a little bit. You're going to have to be gentle with this. We're going to take the ends and we're going to push them forward like that. So you want these facing upward. We're now going to attach this to our little pumpkin, so we'll have a little handle. So up at the little corners here of the stem, just add a couple of drops of glue, and then take the little coily parts here and push them down onto the glue, and you want to make sure it sticks to the glue. And you kind of just want to hold it till it's dry. Next, I want to take one of the mini haystacks that I'm going to be putting on the shelf, but I want to make it a little more decorative. So I'm going to be using some twine or some jute to wrap around my little haystack. So I'll start at the back with a little bit of glue, and then come around and just a little bit of glue here and there. You don't need it to be all the way across. So I'm just going to put 2 little dots on each end here. Make sure the rope is right on that glue. Bring it back around and finish it off, and then just trim off your twine. And there you go, a cute little decorative haystack. Now we want to add our haystack to our little shelf. You could place it on there straight if that's what you want. I'm going to put mine at a bit of an angle, just like that. So I need to glue that down so it doesn't fall off. Alright, so now I'm going to take some little leaves, and I took them off of the stem. I bought this stem at Michael's. It's really pretty. I love how small these little leaves are, and I love the color. And now I'm just going to trim them off so that I have the 2 separate leaves, just like that. Alright, I'm going to glue one right here on top of the little shelf. One more leaf. And I'm going to glue that back here on the wall of my little pumpkin behind my little haystack, or my bale of hay. There we go. That looks super cute. It's not finished yet. All right, so now I want to put a little bow on my ornament, and you can use some little ribbon for that. I'm going to be using my twine or jute, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to make a multi-looped bow, and I'm going to keep it really small, just like that. Make as many loops as you want. One more on that side, so I have 3 loops on each side. I'm going to go ahead and cut it, and then I'm going to cut an extra little length here, and I'm going to use that to tie around my little bow and keep it intact. I'm going to knot it, and then I'm going to cut off any excess length just so it looks all nice like that. And there we go, we have a little bow. And now to glue it on our ornament, I have a leaf on this side, so I want to put it opposite of the leaf, and I'm going to put it right there where this coils up, right underneath that. Just kind of tuck it in there, and then pull on your little coils. Now that they're dry, just gently pull on them. You don't want to pull off your little handle, and then just round off your little handle, and there we go. I decided to make 4 of them, as you can see here, and I'm really happy with my results. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up. Now leave a kind comment down below and let me know what you think of my little ornament. Will you be following something like that? What are you using these little flat little pumpkins for and the little mini haystacks? What are you using them for? Please share with us, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. So if you're liking my content, just hit that red subscribe button down below and then hit the notification bell so that you get notified of when I upload my videos. You might want to also follow me on Facebook, Trisha's Creations. And I want to thank you all for watching, and as always, enjoy.